All right, I think it is time. We'll begin. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Yes, so one topic was suggested by our delight family members. It is about Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitah. This is a Sanskrit phrase. This is having many references. It has, if you see, it is a part of a larger phrase. Dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshita. Dharma if killed, kills. Dharma if protected, protects. It is also the motto of the research and analysis wing. Uh, can we not discuss about this? What do you think about this particular aspect? Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitah. Yes, please. Shashi, please feel free to unmute.
When you say
Yeah.
dharma as in one's duty or dharma as in religion?
Dharma is loosely translated as religion in English, but dharma in the Gita is very different.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Your own perspective, Ji? What
It
is
wouldn't be
dharma?
religion. It wouldn't be religion. For me, dharma no longer means religion. Like you said,
Yeah,
it's loosely termed. It would be
yeah.
one's duty.
Duty. Okay. So somebody who protects the duty is protected by the duty, isn't it? That is what then dharma is.
Protected by the duty.
By that makes it very literal, isn't it? The translation of dharmo rakshati
Yes.
rakshita. If you equate dharma to duty, so duty is a part of dharma, but dharma is still a little much, little wider.
Okay.
So, like one person can have multiple dharmas, isn't it?
Yes.
A mother has a dharma of a mother also, and sometimes towards the husband she can have a wife's dharma. Towards the society, there's a different dharma.
Yes.
To the nation, to your you can say you have some debt that is to be paid. They call runa. My dharma
Yes.
towards the place where I am, towards that city, anywhere where we are. We are. It's like a sacred thread that is binding everyone.
Mm.
Sometimes that binding only makes it. Sometimes people feel that is my binding which has to be removed, and they let go.
Yeah.
Then they walk sometimes in the path of adharma.
Mm.
And then what happens then?
They're on their own,
Yeah, it leads
basically.
to it leads to a complete destruction of the personality, destruction of the individual. And that
Yes.
is why it is said that dharmo rakshati rakshita. Say a teacher's dharma is to teach, isn't it?
Mm.
Should the teacher be influenced by other outer limitation, or sometimes if I particularly teach this to this way, I will have a bias to a particular student who is likely to do what I want. And the student I feel is not good. Can the teacher do that? Can the teacher discriminate?
Not if he's true to himself, he shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, isn't it? That is true to oneself. Sometimes
Yes.
this aspect, what is dharma, is the biggest question because we get sometimes confused.
Mm.
We don't know what is our dharma. The example is our Arjuna's case only in the very first adhyaya of the Gita. Is it to fight or is it not to fight? His biggest question, what is my dharma? Because he sees his dharma of taking part in the Yuddha itself to be the biggest adharma.
mm,
He says that if I participate in the dharma, I'm going to destroy Kula dharma.
mm,
I'm going to destroy Mitra dharma, whatever dharma of Maitri is there,
mm.
towards my elders, towards everybody else. Excuse me. So now, how does one identify? And will we not be always confused if dharma is such a vague term? It can have so many meanings. What is
In
our
in
dharma? How do we identify it?
mm. In
Or
Arjun's case, his dharma, his confusion was about individuals and
no,
relationships. The bottom
yeah,
line for him was that his dharma was to the truth, what is right. He was
okay.
supposed to uphold the right, be
You have to uphold
righteous.
right.
Yes,
Yes, you missed something. You said dharma towards the truth, isn't it, Shashiji?
yes, yes.
Towards the truth. That is what we call
True.
satya dharma, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
That is the highest dharma to uphold, and everyone must do it. But in Arjuna's case, his emotions came in the way, isn't it? His emotions clouded his judgment, his viveka, his ability to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. What is my
Yes.
dharma? The biggest question comes only when you have lost your ability to discriminate. And here it was because of his emotions, which in turn were because of his attachments, isn't it?
Yes.
This shows one very important fact for all of us to remember that because of our attachments, we are likely to lose sight of the truth. We are
Mm,
likely to get hoodwinked by this illusion and forget what is the dharma. The great sages, why would they spend so much time in meditation, in trying to purify their minds, strengthen their bodies, strengthen their minds? Because they wanted to understand what is the Satya Dharma,
mm,
the path of the Dharma of Satya, of truth. Because
mm,
when you have truth's clarity, you are never alone. Truth becomes your weapon, truth becomes your mirror, truth becomes your shield also,
mm.
and protects you. And the exact essence of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshita is when you are on the foundation of truth. Nothing can ever touch you.
Mm.
But again, identifying that truth is always the biggest problem. What is my dharma? What is the satya dharma of this moment? Because in a situation, say any situation comes to us, there can be so many questions in our mind, and if we are still functioning with just our mental logic only, we are trying to calculate. To some extent, if some people have very good minds, they can try to very well juggle into with like multiple dharmas intellectually because their
Mm.
intellect is developed. But that also has a limit, isn't it? Even
Yeah.
the best juggler cannot juggle 1,000 pins, is it?
No,
Keep
probably get
increasing,
punctured.
increasing. Yeah, yeah, it's going to fall down. It will fall. It will fall on the head of the juggler only. And the same thing happens because then you get trapped.
Mm,
Arjuna did uphold his dharma all his life, and yet life threw a situation at him. A situation which, broke all his calculations. He would have thought, whatever happens, I will never stand against my guru. Whatever happens, I'm going to do all the good things in life because I have been given strong arms. His other name was Mahabahu, good mind. I've done good deeds. Whatever I have done, I have done with the sweat of my brow. I have grown ahead with sincerity. So everything was somehow set in his life. And suddenly something unsettling came in front of him, and then the wise one. He had so many titles. Mahabahu, Parantapa, Gudakesha, meaning somebody who had conquered sleep. If you ask me, I look for a chance to go to sleep. But here is one person who has just said, I don't want to waste one moment of my earth, also I will be engaging in sadhana and keep going on.
mm,
Such a powerful person as well. He has suddenly just lost sight of dharma.
mm,
And there, when dharma's sight is lost, we become powerless. We become weak. We become diffident. We don't know what we want to do, what is to be done. He
mm,
begs to Krishna, Yat Shreya Syanishchitam Rohitan me Shishyas Teham Shadimam Tvam Prapanam. He says, show the way. And Krishna shows the way. He says, this is not the Kshatriya Dharma. But does Arjuna immediately understand? He
mm,
takes 18 adhyayas. No? He has to be told because this is the power. This is the power of Maya, power of Moha. Attachments come even to the best of us. It's very easy to talk high philosophy of ancient Indians. Yes, we can talk a lot about them, but can we live them? That is the biggest question. We must try, we must aspire because that is the truth. And that truth must be manifested in our lives, not just in our thoughts. And in these situations, when they come to us, we must look at them as opportunities.
mm.
Because Krishna in the Gita says one very important thing. He says, Swadharmat nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Meaning, upholding your dharma and even losing your life, becoming a martyr and losing your life, but upholding your dharma is better than letting go of that dharma. And then that is the worst danger, is what he says.
Mm.
Like, say, let us say, what is a doctor's dharma?
To look after the patients,
Yes, to
get
look
them
after the
better.
patients and to treat, isn't it? Can the
Yes,
doctor afford to forget that?
some do, but they're not supposed
Yeah,
to. They
they're not
cannot.
supposed. And then what happens then? Leads to terrible consequences, isn't it?
Mm,
And karma catches on to everybody. And even the wisest who think they are above the world, above the karma chakra, but they all are caught. And the
mm,
consequences are there.
mm,
One very interesting thing had happened in a hospital in Pondicherry.
mm.
The doctor got slapped by a technician. Now that is the technician has forgotten the dharma, isn't it?
Really depends why he slapped him.
Yeah, he slapped
Either
him.
way, you shouldn't be slapping
That is not,
anyone.
it is against the dharma, isn't it?
Yes,
But now this created what we call dharma sankata. The
yes.
biggest danger now started there because then the unions came into play. Doctors' unions say already patients are attacking us. Now technicians are also. This is not safe. We cannot work anymore. All the doctors' unions they decided to stop. They went on a strike. The technicians' union came into picture. They said doctors are always mistreating technicians and treating us very indifferently. They're looking at us in a very bad manner, and our rights are being trampled upon. This person was just expressing his frustration at being treated badly. Hmm. So, what would we do in such an impasse? Because that technician kept, he said, see, this man spoke too rudely to me. I don't recognize him. And that is why I had to teach him a lesson. Now, how do we solve this? Or what has happened now? Patient
Mm.
service has gone for a ride, no?
Yes,
Patient care.
absolutely. There are knock-on
Yeah.
effects.
Yes, yes, yes. So, and emotions have flared, isn't it?
Yes.
If we understand that we are all beings governed by our emotions sometimes, though it is not ideal to be governed by emotions because of the game of Prakriti, isn't it?
Mm.
Emotions determine a lot of things in our life.
Yes.
Krishna has told that there is a Rajas, there is a Sattva, and there is a Tamas, three gunas. And this is the Rajas which flares up the passion inside of a person.
Yes.
In Arjuna's case, it was Tamas, which made him lose all the passion to fight. It made
Mm.
him too emotionally disturbed and in a depression. So he was withdrawing completely from activity. And now, in the case of this technician, it was a flared up Rajas, isn't it?
Yes.
Was the doctor Satvik in his attitude and talking a little rudely or roughly to the technician?
He should not have been
Should not
talking
have,
to him like
technically.
that.
Yes,
No.
yes, he should not have. So again, it was another, if you look at in the game of the Gunas, here the doctor is spoken in a rude manner, probably with a tamasic nature.
Yeah.
If you look at it, everybody's perspective is correct, isn't it? In a way.
Yes.
See, this was very bad. He spoke something which he should never have spoken. That is all. End of story for this person.
Mm.
Now, that way, many times, the biggest dharma sankatas come because each person holds on to their version of the dharma.
Mm.
Each person tries to think. Means everybody has our opinion. Everybody has an opinion, isn't it? All of us. And we
Mm.
think our opinion is correct and true. But it does not mean just because we think it is going to be true. And that is where this search or this inner quest to understand the truth, to realize the truth, to experience and manifest it, that is what the Rishis also talked about.
Mm.
So now, if we don't realize it, we lose that sacred thread of Dharma. We descend into the path of Adharma and we are vulnerable to the forces of nature. Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, all whatever game is going on in Prakriti, we become a pawn, we get moved around by the forces.
Mm.
And to rise above the forces, we need to realize the Satya Dharma.
Mm.
So here in this impasse between doctor and technician, patient care was being disturbed.
Mm.
And it went for a while. And then luckily what happened was the elders, the experienced wise ones from both sides came to counsel. They reminded the Satya Dharma to both of them. The same Satya Dharma exists for the technician as it is for the doctor, as it is for the receptionist, as it is for the nurse,
Mm.
as it is even for the patient, isn't it? The patient
Yes.
has a dharma of the patient. I have to follow the medication the doctor has given. Ah, it's too bitter. I'm not going to eat if he decides. Again, it's a dharma, isn't it? It
Mm.
will not allow the patient to also get better. So they talked about this middle path. What is it?
Mm.
It is the Satya Dharma which must not be ever lost. Said, see,
Mm.
the patients are suffering. Both of you, whatever problem is there, let us try to resolve it amicably. Both sides agreed that crossing verbal to physical is not allowed. It is
Mm.
wrong. If this person spoke wrong, it is wrong that he spoke, and he should not do it. But crossing over and physically attacking, that was a crossing of lines that cannot be tolerated. This technician apologized. He said it was in a fit of rage that I responded. I am sorry. The doctor with a bigger heart said, all right, I am taking back my case. And then again, Satya Dharma prevailed, isn't it? So
Mm.
this understanding of Dharma sometimes makes a lot of difference in our lives, in everyday lives. Can we choose somebody else to make someone else understand Satya Dharma?
Only if they're open. You can't make them. You can explain to them.
Can you
And
make
if
someone
they're
open?
open,
Can you make somebody open?
I think if one has the patience and
Hmm.
persistence,
Yeah. Okay, the
And it
hoping
is,
is always good, but can we manifest an opening in somebody?
I would, nothing is ever never. There is always a chance,
Okay.
a
But with the
possibility.
divine will, isn't it? With the divine's will, if that is not there, all our efforts will go in vain, isn't it? It's like trying to teach the Gita, tell the Gita to somebody who does not want to hear. I wasted a lot of my energy talking to my friends, trying to say, hey, read the Gita, it's so nice. And it was just like pouring, what we can say, water in a desert when somebody does not want to read. Then I realized, see, that was very stupid. It was quite rajasic of me because I'm claiming to have understood something in the Gita, or because I have got so interested in it, I want my friends to understand. Just because
Mm.
I want it or I feel it's nice for another person, I can't enforce it, isn't it? The other
Yes,
individual must, like for
be
instance, I like,
interested,
yes, yeah,
be,
yes, yeah,
be interested and open about
yes,
to
yes,
the
yes, yes.
suggestion.
Yes, yes. So we cannot work on others or try to worry about other people's openings. We will have to first look at our own opening because we have an example of the great Arjuna who has suddenly walked on the path of a dharma.
Mm.
Great gurus have walked on the path of a dharma. Dronacharya, Pitamaha Bhishma. These are all divine, almost godlike,
Mm.
and yet they were engaging in a dharma. Because of what? Attachments only, and that is through attachments Maya operates, and Maya is so powerful that you, I, everybody can get snared by Maya. We have to seek refuge of the divine and have a clarity of thought. Without
Mm.
that clarity, without that connection with what is truth, we get hoodwinked. Krishna says no in the interesting part in the 18th adhyaya only. Means we look at the shloka, 31st shloka in the 18th adhyaya. It says, Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyameva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. Means how the gunas make us forget what is right. Each one, Rajasic guna is going to create what? It's like that which is right action and that which is wrong action. His mind has a faulty sense of discrimination of what is to be done and avoided. He holds a wrong notion. Such a being is Rajas in understanding and perception. What is dharma and what is adharma? This person is getting confused.
Mm.
Say somebody is behaving badly to you. Go and ask that person. Say, no, no, it was out of dharma. That time I felt this is my dharma to behave badly to you because you are going astray. I've actually heard that dialogue. Now what will we say? What can you say about it? It is Rajas only Krishna is saying here in the Gita. It's like a thermometer which is showing low temperature when temperature is high and high temperature when it is low. So when Rajas nature, impulsive nature flares, there is a great danger. It
Mm.
is a danger of confusing what is dharma. What is dharma is going to be called adharma, and what is adharma is going to be called. That is a big problem. So again, passion getting uncontrolled. Passion is required, yes, but let the
Mm.
divine drive that passion, isn't it?
Mm.
The channeling of the passion should not be just by emotions and impulses. It should be something higher. So that is what is a limitation of what we call the Rajasic nature.
Mm.
Same way when Tamasic nature is there, again the Dharma, the person gets confused in Dharma only. In the Tamasic nature, it's like Adharmam Dharmam iti ya manyate tamasa vrita. Sarvarthan viparitansha buddhi sa partha tamasi. Those who are veiled by darkness's cloak, deluded by falsehoods, pseudo interpretations they evoke. Their perception of the world is blurred by their misunderstanding. Oh, Arjuna, such beings are said to be tamas in their understanding. Means what happens then? They are in the cloak of completely deluded. They are just the falsehood is driving that individual. The person is not able to see. They'll start making false interpretations. And so you tell the truth also, no, no, it actually means this under this context. It means the truth is false under this context. How can we say that? But these are the interpretations. Truth is always one, isn't it? It cannot vary with perspectives or it cannot change. It's night in
Hmm.
India means it is night right now. It cannot become morning suddenly. At least here. Maybe in USA it can be. Daytime might be there, but not in India. So this false interpretations, these are again, it's a trap of the gunas. And same way it is a, if you see what is sattvic, if you see,
Sorry, what was that?
yeah, yes, ji?
Sorry, what did you say?
What is the sattvic understanding of dharma and adharma? That is, we saw tamasic understanding, which is bringing
Yeah.
pseudo interpretations.
Hmm.
That a person is getting, completely, the understanding of the world is only blurred.
Yes.
Rajasic we saw is going to call dharma as adharma and adharma as dharma, and that person feels that person has all the energies to do the upholding of dharma, and everybody else is not upholding it. That is the
Hmm.
force of Rajas. But Sattva, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa parth sattvic. That which sees the laws of action and renunciation, recognizing the differences between right and wrong action. He who understands what is to be feared and what is not, what binds and frees the spirit, Sattva's understanding, that person is God. When such an individual who has got that clarity can understand what is right and what is wrong. Means if you see the three gunas, Sattva, Raja, and Tamas, Krishna has told all three have to be transcended. We will look at why Sattva also needs to be transcended later in a moment. But as of now, if you look at the three gunas, Sattva, Raja, and Tamas, Sattva appears to be the most Shrestha, isn't it? The most important among all three, because Tamas is going to make you deluded.
Hmm.
You will never understand in your. It's like this is what has to be done. This is Kali Yuga. Some people read and say, this Kali Yuga is going to be like this only. I remember one person saying, you are not Avatar Ram to be so truthful all the time. You cannot smile every time after experiencing difficulties. And the very purpose of the avatarhood is to set an example for humanity, isn't it? But
That's
tamas
right.
is making the person forget that this avatar is suffered for our sake.
Hmm.
Tamas is saying their story is different, ours is different. You cannot feel karuna. Very Krishna, our Ramachandra was absolutely karunamaya, always feeling that love and compassion. Yet he held a weapon also when it was required. But that is lost because of tamasic. Rajasic person will call Ravan only Ram and Ram as Ravan. That is a twist of the mind. So Satvik will probably understand that. And that is why, if you see, the Upanishads also focused on that highest truth. We need to understand what that highest truth is. Because the best of us, many times, we get astray because we don't realize it. In the Kathopanishad, this young Nachiketas, he tried to remind his dad what is Dharma. My question is, I think we must have all tried in childhood to tell something to our parents, isn't it? Have we tried any time to say you're wrong? What is any experience of pointing out a fault? How is it met? How is it met with?
Mm, it was pointed out when my granddaughter was about 3 years old.
Oh, your
She
granddaughter
pointed,
pointed out to you. Okay.
yes, that I was in the wrong and I
Okay.
should apologize. I wasn't in the wrong. But she said I was in the wrong, therefore I should apologize. And
Yeah,
I did,
you
not
did.
to her,
Okay. Huh.
not to her, but to my husband.
Huh.
And that made her feel better. And actually,
Okay.
in a roundabout way, the peace is back.
Okay, that was very interesting. Yes, but I think many of like if a student tells to a teacher you are doing this wrong, the teacher will get out of the classroom in the school. That was very common because
Yes.
that same thing happened in the Upanishad also when young Nachiketas pointed out, Father, what are you doing? He could not say this directly because that time there were certain limitations. So he went in a very polite manner, the maximum polite way he could have asked, because his father was doing dana. And he was in to complete the yajna. So many danas had to be done. In that, he had to give the dan of Pashu also. And he was giving cows. This boy saw these cows are not very healthy. They have eaten all their grass. They cannot now give any more milk. This is not a worthy dana to complete. If this is going to be a perfect and ideal yajna, this is not right. But he was a little worried. How do I go and tell this to such a great yogi? How can I speak? Can I contradict this way? How can I? What should I do? So the young Nachiketas goes and asks, Father, whom will you give me in Dana? Now, whether it is a good idea or a bad idea, we cannot judge in our yoga is different. His time was different. But that was his way to try to point out in the most simple and subtle manner that what you are doing is not right. Whom will you give me away? He asked second time. And then the father's again, it's a Rishi, so I will not try to say which guna flared up. We understand what had flared up, but he told him, he told him that I'll give you to Yama, probably the oldest reference of go to hell being told, or heaven. Yama, I'll give it to Yama, I'll give you to Yama. And then the beautiful Kathopanishad starts, where the Tejo Bala of this young Nachiketas is so much. He says, maybe even by this word, because on those days, every word was having such a great power because everybody followed those words with full sincerity. So here he says, maybe I have to reach something, and this is a Rishi who has said this. Maybe it was God's wish that I move to Yama's Loka. And then the journey starts where this young boy goes to Yama. But you see here, the great yogi, the great Rishi also got somewhere lost in a hurry, in the hurry to complete his yajna. He forgot about that basic essence. Just like that. If you see in another Upanishad, in the Isha Upanishad, if I'm not mistaken, there's a beautiful verse. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pihitam mukham tattvam bhushanam apavruno satya dharmaya drishtayet. Meaning, truth is covered by a golden lid. Means the truth is like a vessel in a vessel, and a vessel it is covered with a golden lid. But the lid is so brilliant that you begin to feel the lid is only the truth. And you get attracted with that, what is on the surface, without realizing that the real truth is inside. They say all that glitters is not gold. Like, yes, that is true. And here, gold only is not the truth, is what's beyond the gold. There is something else which has to be really go deeper into the roots of things and try to understand. And there, this Hiranmayana Patrina Satyasyapitam Mukham. So how do I open it then? How do you think we can open that lid then if we want to? What do we do in such a situation when I'm not able to see the truth beyond the surface right now? And I know there is a truth. I know what is happening around me is not right.
Hmm.
But how do I reach? Where do I get the strength? Who's going to break that lid?
You have to find somebody who
Yes.
understands, and
Yes, it's so rare, no? So difficult.
very.
Very difficult. So what do we do? Many times when we are hopeless, we don't find anybody. What do we do?
Up there.
Absolutely. Look to the skies. Look at the divine. And the great
Yeah.
Vedic Rishi, who is himself awakened, is not hesitating to aspire to see the truth, recognizing the strength is not there to take it on their own. The next part,
Mm.
he invokes Pushan, the Lord of the nourisher of all living beings. Statvam Pushanam Apavruno Satya Dharmaya Drishte. Hey Pushan, Bhagwan or Lord Divine Nourisher, by whose grace everything progresses and nourishes and prospers. He says, break that lid and let me see the truth. And there's, I think, a beautiful painting of the mother, isn't it? With a hammer. There's a painting of the Divine Mother with the hammer, and she's broken a gate.
Yes.
It's a very symbolic one. It's actually one of her occult experiences, which is later on described in her experiences, where she
Mm.
saw a brilliant golden gate and she had a huge hammer, maybe
Mm.
even more powerful than Thor's hammer. Well, that one had to be used and that was broken. And
Mm.
then the light of truth flooded from behind that gate. In our life also, sometimes truth is right in front of us and we are not able to see it. And that is where we need the grace of the divine. That is why it is so important to call upon the divine, to be
Mm.
sincere in our surrender to the divine. Because then God will help, God will make everything clear. This is an experience, and well, this is an experience of so many. If you look at the most ancient texts, also here, the Vedic rishis who are strong, physically strong, also mentally, also, they have achieved a lot of things in their, they have understood such great realizations they have got, and yet they realize that they are incomplete without divine grace, and they call
Mm.
upon the grace. So I think we can learn that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here, that is why the dharmas also which we understand. What is sattvic dharma? What is rajasic dharma? What is tamasic dharma? All of that you can forget it. How can you forget by surrendering to the divine, isn't it?
Mm.
Are you going to calculate? Do we do every action? They say we have to do something for dharma. As a in the society, no, ये dharma karya, some work for dharma.
Mm.
But are we so big to do something for dharma? Dharma is going to help us and take us ahead. We have to realize that this is dharma is the same Sanatan one, the eternal dharma which is going on, which was, which is, which will be. All we have to do is we just have to align with that. Not just
Mm.
intellectually, because people then imagine I have done so much good to people. Why bad has happened to me?
Mm.
This is a question a lot of people ask because they've been doing and calculating, isn't it?
Mm.
If I do this much, then this must be this much. This is like, okay, today I bent 15 times. Chitragupta, please not add my brownie points. So when I enter my dwara should Sargaloka should open a little more easily. Or I should go there. Or I've done this, so I get something else. Are we going
Mm.
to calculate every action that we do? The Krishna says beautifully after teaching about dharma, it teaches about what is right, what is wrong, so many things. He says forget all dharmas because dharmas also sometimes you get attached to that also, isn't it? Sarva dharman padityaje mamekam sharanam raja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mastacha. Meaning he says, if you see the very sattvic, that we just looked at it. It's like bandham moksham chaya veti buddhi sa partha satviki. When you have the sattvic buddhi, you are able to understand what is going to bind you, what is going to liberate you. But yet you don't get liberated because sattva also has its limitation. You have to rise beyond the sattva. I am on the path of liberation, so I am not going to speak properly to anybody beyond anything. I am now connected with the divine, so my connection is with the skies, not with the earth. Isn't that one of the type of a bandhana? When you are not realizing it, terrestrial realization is lost
mm,
in seeking something else, somewhere else. So here Krishna is just, this is a shloka where Krishna has told because he has perfectly understood human nature. Sarva dharman parityaje mamekam sharanam raja. What questions are you going to have? Whether I have done right? Sometimes people do something with it and then they are in a state of confusion. Did I do right? Did I do wrong? What we call in psychology, they call it moral injury.
mm,
Even in armed forces, warriors also experience that sometimes. Sometimes unknowingly, a stray bullet hits a civilian, injures a civilian. That hurts the soldier so much that the person now struggles to lift the weapon again.
mm,
Or a doctor is also worried because what if I do this? This patient will not survive. The fear comes into. I remember asking my friend who is a colorectal surgeon, "What do you? How is it that you are?" It was basically I had just learned about something and I was very curious. He said, "Have you never made mistake in your operations?" Because he was a friend, he was truthful to me at least. Because if you ask somebody else, everybody is the perfect doctor from day one. I never make any mistakes. Is what a lot of people say. But he says, no, it is a normal thing. Mistakes sometimes happen. And then that is how our science progresses, is what he says. We learn what needs to be done and what must not be done. Some mistakes also sometimes kind of take us ahead. Another doctor, she shared her experience where and he said one of the reasons we do try to, because if we have attachments with the patient, we'll make more mistakes. We try to stay detached from the patients. He says we just do a routine talk, but we don't really go into the emotional aspect of the person. But in India, the emotional aspects are very strong, isn't it? A little stronger than other places sometimes. We are very emotionally attached. What do we do there? That is the biggest question. One doctor also told that because she was herself a mother and uh, patient came. The patient's mother brought the patient in, and that young boy had suffered a accident. The face was completely smashed, and to do the operation, she had to put the tube inside, and she was very, very scared, and she was so scared about because she was not worried. It was not happening. It was very complicated just to put the tube inside. What operation is going to be done? And she was so worried. She said, I don't, she told herself, I don't want to be the person going to face that boy's mother and tell her that I couldn't do it. And you know what she did inside of the operation theater? She prayed to Krishna.
oh,
She prayed to Krishna and she said, Krishna, do something. I'm not able to do it. I mean, she's not lost her medical skill. She's not losing anything of it, but her personal skill and experience was not allowing her to do it. And she says, I really do not know what happened, how that tube went in afterwards. She's like, I just fully surrendered to the divine. Let me try my best. Put everything else forgotten, surrendering to the divine. That operation went all right. And she says, I till date, I still don't know how I did it. It happened, it went over. I was struggling, it didn't work. Sarva dharman parityaje.
mm.
Krishna is saying that. Mamekam sharanam raja means surrender to me. What is dharma? What is the dharma? Forget all of it. If Krishna says move right, move right. Krishna says move left, move left. No need to, can I walk a little bit or can I stand in the center? No, this is no individual choice. when you have surrendered to the divine completely. Again, it is surrender to the divine, isn't it? Not surrender to Rajas. They will
Mm.
again make you for confused because that is our human nature. So we have to very much understand that from the heart, surrender to Krishna. And he says, what are you worried about? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. If in surrendering me, you are doing something which is perceived, surrendering to me, you are doing something which is perceived as a papa. He says, forget all of it. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami ma shucha. Do not grieve. I will liberate you. He says, I have a magic eraser. I will erase all your papa if you surrender completely and truly. Well, it's not really a magic eraser. It is actually when you are aligned with the consciousness of the divine, which is the cosmic consciousness, which is also the consciousness that is pervading in all of us. It is going to automatically take you on the path of dharma only. You don't have to intellectually calculate what is my dharma and what is adharma here. What is your Krishna dharma? That is the best way to look at it. Identify Swadharma. Never in your life do anything that is against your Swadharma because there cannot be a greater sin than that. Your dharma towards yourself. But higher than your dharma, higher than the Swadharma, in the last chapter, Krishna tells, he says, surrender to the divine, meaning recognize what is the Krishna dharma. What is my dharma towards Krishna at this moment? If you are able to identify that, that is all. Krishna says, I will liberate you. What more is needed? What more is needed than that?
Mm.
And that is the secret, I think, what Krishna is revealing in the 18th Adhyaya, that we must identify. Because if, and again, protection, yes, divine protection is always there for every single one. It's told, Ananyashchintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. I will look after the entire journey. That is the promise of the divine. He takes care. People who have nothing, people who have nothing, no hope, no direction, whether you look at it in any way, spiritually, materially, whichever way you look at it, those have surrendered completely to the divine will. They've actually experienced that, wow, it's Krishna who is leading the way. Not only leading the way, Krishna is caring. That is the experience. So that is something. So, yes, we have to uphold Dharma. And first, we have to, even more importantly, it is important that we identify our Krishna Dharma. Is there any scenario that, since I think, yes, only I think Shashiji's phone, this video is on, but if anybody else wishes to add something, or you wish to put a scenario in which we will have to identify what Krishna Dharma is, any random scenario also you can give. It would be useful as a practical aspect for us to look at. Juhi ji or Chitralekha ji or Chitra ji, anybody? Any practical scenario where we have to decide what is Krishna Dharma, what should we do? Can we look at it once and probably with that we can conclude our today's session on Dharma? Yes, Shashiji also. Any situation where we are not sure, how do we, what is the Dharma? What is our Krishna Dharma? Can we think of?
If there is an issue about anything which means a lot to an individual,
Hmm.
um, if one runs around trying to sort it,
Yeah.
like it could be fighting for an estate,
Okay.
um, uh,
Ah,
money,
yeah.
etc., etc. One has tried everything. Finally, draw the line, saying what will be, as in, leave it.
Draw the line. Sorry, the last part.
I said, then ultimately one has to leave it after trying everything. And if it's not working out, then I
Yeah.
think, like you said, leave it to
to
the
the
divine,
divine.
leave it to Lord, and it will take its time, but the right thing will be done, whatever that is. It won't be as per our own expectations.
But Shashiji,
But
then will this not create a problem for all those who read the Gita and have property battles in home? They'll say ki Gita has told me to withdraw the case and I'm taking out my share, Krishna will see. Will that not
no,
happen? Because I know of a particular case where there was a very sweet lady, all the relatives al- always took advantage of her what we call sattvic nature, because in Marathi they say garib guy,
huh.
poor cow. Nothing, you hate it also, it is not going to do anything. She was in that category, we can say. So she read the Gita and that was the first time she told no. She said, no, I don't agree with this. Because she said, Krishna will not like it if I just give up without what is right. I have to stand for it, but I don't care if I don't get it. But I have to stand for it. I have to stand for what is right because it is toward for Krishna. Means
Mm,
it is not withdrawal at all times. What you have said is very nice that we don't have to, because sometimes people get into very ugly fights for no reason and there's nothing good coming out of it. Like
mm,
where our factory is in the village only, and just near to that, there's a property which was having very beautiful trees which would be cut every time harvested, and it was nice being used for cultivation. We have these pencil trees, they call it. They are having, they get good wood and they give a nice cooling feeling for everybody around. And then that person passed away, and the children, they began to fight over the property. Now I've been watching it for nearly 12 years. Not a single, no, maybe more, I think. It's around 15 years, I think now. Not a single plant has been cultivated there. No, nothing has happened. If they had just decided 15 years, they could have just split whatever was the proceeds from that. But yet, now there's a court case and both are so well off. Say the person, owner of the property, struggled so hard to. For whom did that person struggle?
mm,
He couldn't take it to Swargaloka. That person had to, it was probably for his next generation. But look at
mm,
what is the next generation doing. So here, this is where the entire aspect comes in. Surrender to the divine and just understand what is Krishna Dharma. Krishna Dharma tells Arjuna to stand up. Krishna Dharma also tells Krishna at one time to not take part in a battle also. That is why he got the name Ranchod. So which battle has to be avoided? Which battle has to be fought? What is going to take thing ahead? Means what is Satya, that has to be understood, because unless we understand that. One very nice example I can give is from a participant of a delight session almost 4 years, Krishna's Butter Gita batch for adults, and almost 4 or 5 years ago. Lakshmi Narayan, I still remember his name and his example also, which he gave in Atlanta. A very senior professional, HR. And I think Saturday, Sunday there, he said was always weekend. Everybody works for the weekend only. Friday afternoon onwards, people start getting ready for the weekend. So on weekend, some work came upon his table. And that it was around this, I think probably he was just reading the Gita, and it might happen during the workshop only that he started really feeling that Krishna is everything, and that has continued with him now so many years. But that project which came to him, his CEO also came and personally told him that you don't have to really take this up. We don't really have the capacity. It has just come to us. It's an opportunity which may be taken or can be avoided. And he decided, no, it has Krishna will not be happy if I don't do this work because it has come to my table. I have to be sincere towards Krishna, whether or
mm,
not somebody tells me. His colleagues also mocked him. Why are you taking up this project? How are you going to manifest it? You don't have that technical capacity to do it. In our firm, we don't have all of it. But he said, let me try my best. So figured out, he made a budget of how it can outsource that particular aspect from another place and all of this. And he had to work very hard. The entire Friday night, he took some documents home and he kept working on it. And Monday morning, his CEO was surprised that he did. And he said, yeah, this is really not expected or not wanted. He said, no, I wanted to do it. And it turned out to be that project which helped get job for so many people during a bad period for that company. It was during that COVID pandemic. Just look at that. One person's action towards Krishna, it can make such a big difference. Krishna also
mm,
says, Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Smallest action of dharma can sometimes protect from greatest danger. Sometimes a small smile that you flash to somebody genuinely from the heart can actually turn out to be a great blessing. We do not know because that is the flux of karma. It is so deep, so dense. We don't really know exactly. So I think what we need to understand is let us identify Krishna Dharma at every moment. If we
mm,
identify it and we are sincere, we can face the entire world. Every single one in the world can say, you are the worst person. You are the most hopeless person in the world. You have done only wrong, but you know in your heart, Krishna knows I am not doing anything purposely. I am sincere. Krishna will take care. I'll carry whatever blame has to be carried. My Krishna also carried it, isn't it? Krishna was blamed for so many things. So many things. He received a curse also. Gandhari had cursed him after the Mahabharata. You brought the death of my entire family. Your family also will fight and die just like this is my curse. Because you don't know the pain of losing a child. I have lost hundreds. And Krishna took that curse on to himself. He said, I accept the curse. But do not say that I don't know the pain of losing children. You lost children on one side, I lost children on both sides. That was his understanding. That was the consciousness of Krishna. So we have to, out of adoration, out of love, because love and adoration is always greater than fear. There's nothing like no useful fear when you're worshipping the divine. Out of love, if we identify our dharma towards Krishna, he will guide us, he will direct us, and we will easily be on the right path only when we are sincerely surrendering to the divine. As far as papa, punya, what is going to come out from this, what is not going to come out, all these questions will disappear because you have totally and truly surrendered. As Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. I will give you moksha is what he says. Moksha has never been so easy as Krishna has given it. I will liberate you, irrespective of what. He had to mention it. Sarva papebhyo. Maybe you have done something wrong. It's all right. Don't hurt yourself unnecessarily over it. Mistakes have happened, they have happened, but now transform. Because even worse sinner can be transformed, is what Gita says. And this is the last part. So, dharma, yes, we have to uphold it. We have to first understand what is our dharma, what is the satya dharma. That is our always, as we have to always aspire to it and be ready to understand that we might make mistake when we have emotions inside of us or we have wrong gunas. Tamo guna may make me forget what is right action. It might make me live in a delusion only. Rajo guna may make me forget what is right and I will end up calling the saint the sinner and sinner I'll call the saint. And the last part, the sattva guna is the one we should try to cultivate, but still understand that there is something higher than the sattva guna also. That comes from surrendering to the to Krishna so that we identify what is a Krishna Dharma. So I think with this, let us conclude our session. If anybody has any query, you are most welcome. If you wish to ask or share something, you're welcome. Or
all all
yes,
I would like to ask is,
yes,
the word surrender,
yes.
the word surrender, surrendering oneself to the divine. um, how really does one do it?
Okay. Maybe that can be for the next week. We can try to look at it.
That would be
It is
great.
mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram has said it's a lifelong process.
It is daily.
begins it begins, and then every cell and every cell of our body must consciously surrender to the divine. But let us try to look at it, because I think we want to practice it in our life, isn't it, madam? Yes. So all right, so that is something to that's a good food for thought. How do we really surrender, and how does one begin if one has not started the process? And let us look at it in the next session. We conclude with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. हरि ओम तत्सत्. कृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna.
Um,
Punarmilama. See you next week, Wednesday.
Lovely. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
a
Ji.
very interesting session.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you for